give you an update on what's going on. I had COVID, and the major downside of that for myself personally was I didn't have any time to come down here and play with my cars and vans. But I'm back at it now, and this is what I've been up to. So this is the Commaero radiator, and as you can see from the brown dirty watermarks everywhere, it still overheats. Well, it doesn't overheat, it pushes coolant out, and you've got to be on like it doesn't do it probably 100-mile journey. That's when you start to notice it. During the week, like 10 miles each, 10-mile journeys, not an issue. Okay, let me quickly talk to you about the two types of cooling system. You've got the expansion tank setup, and then you've got like the overflow tank setup cooling system. At current, it's got the overflow tank type. So the system itself is pressurized, you fill it up to the top, cap on the radiator, it's like a 1-bar cap, I think, so it basically can hold like a bar of pressure before it starts to bleed off. As the coolant gets hot, it expands. You've got a small reservoir overflow tank, and that's like half full. There's a pipe coming off it, goes into it, which is the tip of the pipe is submerged. As it gets hot, it bleeds off the expanded coolant into this cap, into this tank, right? And then as it cools down, it draws a vacuum inside, and providing your aluminium TIG welds are not very porous, it'll pull the coolant back in. Now, mine doesn't really seem to do that. And now it might be because I have slight leaks everywhere, but it doesn't really leak any coolant, so hopefully it's not that. Basically what mine does is that if I use it day to day, doing like it's a 25-mile round trip to work, not an issue, right? I can use it for weeks on end, it doesn't use any coolant. If I try and do a long journey, now I'm talking about driving like the Commaero to Europe. Nobody else's Commaero does this, by the way. You know, the van does get used pretty hard, and you know, I'm pushing the boundaries here, surely. Basically, over long journeys, I'm talking like 100 miles plus, it starts to run out of coolant, and that's when it starts to get hot, and it's run out of coolant, and if you look at it, you can see it's been pushing coolant out the cap the entire time. So it must obviously get to this point where it's just pushing it out and it's not getting it back in. I've head check torqued it. I don't seem to have any issues there. So now I'm going to the expansion tank setup. I briefly tried an expansion tank setup before, but the location of it was crap. It was under the dash. It was it would not flow correctly. So this is where I am with it now. So what I want to do is go away from running the cooling system that I've got, and I want to run an expansion tank. So height is an issue. Let me show you the engine bay. The header tank height is an issue, right? Because I can't fit it. Basically, I can't take it out of the engine bay because it can't go in the sides because the seat's got to fold down. Trust me now, it's got to go in the engine bay. The highest I can get it is about this high. Higher than the radiator, higher than the coolant in the head. So this is the plan, right? I'm going to swap that cap out for a non-pressurized one, so one that just totally seals it all the time. Then make various little brackets. That's where the expansion tank is going to sit. So the fill level is going to be slightly above the radiator. You need to do something to get airlocks at that. So I've drilled a hole, I've made this on the lathe. That's going to get welded into there. That'll loop around to one of these top pipes. One of them will get blocked off. Making sure the cooling level is, the radiator is always full, and yeah, any airlocks disappeared. And the problem is you've got to get this into the cooling system. There's nothing, I've got to add something in. Now, here's the water pump is mounted so close to this now, that it literally mounts straight onto it, no stub of pipe, nothing. I would like to go right before the water pump, that into there. I can't do it. So I've done this, drilled the pipe, radiator, made this on the lathe earlier, cut to 45 in it, and then so I've got an angle that's going to sit there. They're going to be connected, so the coolant is on the suction side of the pump. I did think about adding it into the there's a pipe that runs across here where it goes into the engine. That would have been so easy to loop into it, but I'm not quite sure what's going to happen with that's going to be on like the positive side, isn't it, of the pressurized side of the cooling system. It might try and backfeed. I don't know. I want it to be on the suction side. This is as close as I can get it. This is going to work. Now, let me pause a second. So you might have seen something like this before. They're on eBay. They're like under dash aircon units. They're from the good old China. Got a motor, fans all built in, aircon, evaporator, and you just run the pipes to it. You've got to run an aircon compressor, yada yada yada. Basically, aircon, right? So this is going in the comma. Now the plan is to run the Saab 9000 aircon compressor, a Honda Civic, because that's nice and small, rad, or whatever the rad's called again, and aircon. Now I did not want to run an additional heater matrix, right? So if you can see up here, yes, it's a mess, everything's going on. This is where the original heater lives, and this is where the aircon's going to live. They can't share the same space, right? So this is what I've done. I have found a computer radiator, which is a nice rectangle heater matrix, and I've fitted it into here. Pipes coming off it, so the heater matrix is in there. There's threaded sections of it. This is where the hot water is going to go in, hot and in and out. Problem was I couldn't, first of all it did not fit, so I had to make it bigger. Yes, that is actually carbon fibre, don't ask where I got it from. So I had to make it deeper for the radiator to fit. And then also I needed to get something to the windscreen, to defrost the windscreen. So this is underneath it, yeah, you get me? You following me? But it's the only way it was going to work, because basically if it came out from the top, it gets stuck under the dash and it just doesn't work. The pipes have got to loop round and up that way. That's the way it's got to work. So that's what I have here. So this is the new heater matrix and aircon in a comma. Who'd have thought it? But then it is a 2.3 turbo, so you shouldn't be surprised. Now the radiator, I just drilled this. That's why I saw shrapnel everywhere. So what I've done, again, on the lathe, good job I have a lathe, isn't it? Drilled this, drilled this. This is the front side of the little barbs. Trust me, it will go in. This is the front side of the radiator. There's a lot of room there. Now I run a drilled thermostat, so because I've got a Davis Craig electric water pump, I run a drilled thermostat. So the radiator this radiator is getting hot even before the thermostat is open fully, so I will have hot water. And then coming off that, I have this as a Mercedes auxiliary water pump. That's just going to be directly on the front, flick a switch, and then you're going to get hot water straight into the heater matrix. Come and have a look. Pretty terrible. Look at that. Such fun. Some things I know about my TIG welding is I don't feed the rod properly, I don't move quick enough, and it's the foot pedal, I'm just crap with that. It's them three have to flow quite well for it to come out decent, and I just haven't got it in the minute. Stuff stuck together. No doubt I'm going to have to go over it again to make sure no coolant leaks out, but whatever. This isn't the good side of YouTube, by the way. If you want to see good TIG welders, what are you watching me for? But I appreciate you watching. Feel free to ridicule me in the comments. This is going to go on a bit, so I'm going to call it there for this video. Just thought you'd like to know I'm still alive and I'm still welding badly and making crap vehicles. Thanks for watching. See you soon.